Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the map Tranquility 2. Let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, but before we go ahead and do so, we'll slow it down just a little bit so we make sure we have enough time for the introductions. Team 1 is in the north, and Team 2 is in the south. Starting off with the easternmost player on Team 1 in the northeast corner on a nice little plateau section up here, I might add. He is Immortal D, going first air as a Seraphim here in Royal Purple. He is a 1,000 rated player, and again, he is going first air. To his west in Snow White, we have Micro Shift going first air as well as his Seraphim companion here. He is a 900, and again, he is in Snow White. First Cybran to introduce on Team 1, it is Toaster on Fire. Very fitting with his color. Going first land, he is a 1,500 rated player, the highest rated player in all the land here on Team 1's team and in the game overall. And again, he is going first land as a Cybran. The first UEF to introduce is Baron, going first land in Rust. He is a 1,000 rated player, and again, he is a UEF. In Pac-Man Yellow, we have Zimmy going first land as a Cybran, the second Cybran on Team 1. He is an 1,100 rated player, and again, he is in Pac-Man Yellow. And in the northwest corner here for Team 1, it is Trash Can Man going first air as an UEF. He is an 1,100 rated player, and he is in Amethyst Purple. Very much fitting the theme of very, very purple map here. So for Team 1 side of things, for their faction makeup, we have 2 UEF, 2 Cybran, and 2 Seraphim. No Aeon for Team 1. In the opposite corner of Immortal D in the northeast, in the southwest, we have the Light Oak Tan player of Drunk Warden, not Drunken Warden. Don't know what the difference is. I guess there is a difference. Going first land as a Seraphim, and he is an 1,100 rated player here in this game. To his east, in orange, the color orange, we have Aerolone going first land. He is an 1,100 rated player, and again, he is in orange, the color orange. Another Cybran here to his east is Hooligan Gamer, going first land as a Cybran. As I mentioned, he is an 800 rated player, and again, he is in Chevy Crimson. And Barbie Pink here in the middle is One Big Andy going first air as a UEF. Very interesting to see air be his first factory, kind of in the middle kind of section of the map. Very interesting first factory, but he might have a different strategy than I am thinking of. Going for left drone, and he is a 1,200 in Barbie Pink. In Royal Blue, we have Kiralee, I think is how you say it, going first line as another UEF for his team. He is in Royal Blue, and he is a 1,300. And last but not least, for Team 2 in the southeast corner of the map, it is Peacekeeper, spelled with some leet speech. He is already on the move on this eastern edge. He is in glow-in-the-dark green. He is the lowest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall at a 700. So for Team 2 side of things, we have 3 UEF, 2 Cybran, 1 Seraphim. No Aeon at all in this game. So apologies to those that are loyal to the princess. Let's go ahead and take a look at Reclaim, currently still on the map before our players scoop it up. And with nice giant numbers like that, 48, well, is it 40,000? Oh, let me move this for a second. Yeah, 48,000 Reclaim. That is a ton of Reclaim, and with 12 players on this map, that is 4,000 even, roughly, mass per player. That is a ton of mass, ton of upgrades, ton of factories, ton of units, just a ton of everything. And in terms of mass point layouts, there's not really a high concentrated, tri-mechs, quad-mechs position. They're all singles kind of dotted all around the map. We do see a couple of mechs is actually in the water, the little ponds over here. You can see them, kind of nice little design there in the water. This map is a 10x10. So a 10x10 map with 12 players, and the mass is very much spread out. It's going to be a lot of early action, a lot of crazy shenanigans most likely going to happen here. And in terms of the verticality in this map, this little section, maybe you could get a calm down there, but he's not going anywhere. And we should be able to see, I think there are some entrances. These kind of cracked ice purple thingamajiggies are actually hills that units can climb up. So there are, I think that one might be one. And that would mean this one is up over here. There is 6 mechs here on this giant hill in the middle of the map. So it does see all in the land if you conquer this area of the map. Definitely going to be a point of contention here for both teams. Very much going to be sought after. High verticality means artillery is going to be hard to shoot up there. Missiles are going to be hard to shoot up there. And all of the like. So you want to grab the high ground, as Obi-Wan always says. He has the high ground. And in the movie Episode 3, he wins that fight. You know, some argue Anakin was going to win for the most part. But, you know, when you have the high ground and you're saying they have the high ground and you're facing off against an opponent who's super cocky, you're going to win. So just a food for thought there in this game here at 3 minutes in the FAF match here. Let's go ahead and change it back to normal speed. We do see a Team 1 Mantis here out from Team 1 going after an engineer, so it does look like they can reverse this little really interesting hill section. That is a drone actually from Team 2's Andy. This Mantis cannot target it. There is 1,600 mass. I think that is a Salem wreck here actually on top of that hydrocarbon. Very interesting. We do see Halogen coming in as well. He is on Team 2 as well, and it does look like that Mantis will eventually die off unless he retreats out of dodge. It does look like we have some engineers dropping up into the water, going to scoop up these kind of trench-looking ice sculpture thingamajig. Engineers are going to land nearby, but there is a comm as well on reclaim orders, and immediately tries to shoot the transport, misses it. But the engineers are not giving the orders quick enough, and those engineers die for nothing. Team 1 gets their own transport outbound from Immortal D, and will look like it's going to drop more to the west. We do see comms taking a center line position here. It does look like Team 2 getting a better, end of the deal here. They have a little bit more far forward in terms of comms, but it does look like with 2 players on the eastern side and now a second one appearing here for Team 2's carry, it does look like Immortal D just has to walk around. He's on a patrol order. Okay, now he's given a move order to go that way. But a micro shift is going after the Salem wreck. Very interesting to put a Salem wreck on top of a hydrocarbon. I mean, I guess it is a hydrocarbon, so I guess carbon would be there, which would be mass, which you could then use to make stuff with. But anyway, I don't know really. It's an interesting pick to just put a Salem wreck on top of that, but it's different. And that's one of the reasons why I casted this map, because I saw it in the replay vault. I saw the color of the map. I saw everything. I'm like, I don't think I've casted a purple map that's a 10 by 10 and then has 12 players. I may have casted a map that's 12 players that's 10 by 10. But I just thought it was very aesthetically different and thought to promote an actual named map, why not? We see gun speed and range going down here for El Aron. I can call him E for short just because I feel like I'm going to say his name wrong every single time. Team 1 does look like they are pushing a little bit further south here with the help of Micro Shift. Team 1's Immortal D is assisting in that regard, getting some nice defensive T1 PD established. And there are some attack orders to scoop up all of that juicy mass. Gun and range going down here. It's gun damage and range going down here for Farron in the middle. He does have some assistance from Toaster on fire. Let's see if he'll light some toasters on fire, or he will be the toaster that lights on fire. We'll have to see. He's going, he keeps going back between assisting his teammate and assisting his T1 facility. Halogen Gamer is actually going to push forward, and that gun upgrade is going to finish pretty soon. And with him very far forward, that's kind of a risky move here. With 2 comms versus 1, he doesn't have gun. So the UEF player will have the advantage. A couple of T1 strikers come in and assist. Will buy some time for Farron here to finish that upgrade. It is gone, and he should immediately just send it against Halogen. He has the advantage in hit points. He has the advantage in damage. He has the advantage in range. So he just push against Team 2's Halogen Gamer and take the center of the map. T2 upgrade going down here for Pancake. That will cancel. He drops into the yellow sub 6,000 hit points. That's half of his hit points gone here thanks to Micro Shift's very aggressiveness. And T2 on the way here for Immortal D on the east. A lot of T2s everywhere here, both on the west and the east. And a 2v1 scenario in the middle, as I was talking about before, how Legend is forced to retreat, and he's not getting out of range anytime soon. There's no rocks he can hide behind. It's very flat up here. He can't walk down, and so it's essentially just going to be all over here. Team 2 is going to lose the first player of the game at 7 in a little minutes here. I think Toaster got the final shot in. Maybe Farron did. Let's see. Farron got the last shot in. That is credit to Team 1's Farron. It is now a 6v5 in favor of Team 1 and T2 Toaster. T2 is going for Toaster. And we have Nano Repair going on the way here for E. He already got the stealth upgrade. Speed of range on Drunk Warden. He's going to after getting T2. So kind of bulky. Going for a little bit of mix of HP and damage in terms of, fire rate and whatnot. Usually we see with Seraphim Commanders, they either go for Super Commando Super Commando Seraphim, which is just like 50,000 hit points and crazy regen and all that nonsense, or just the standard T3 with Rascom and all that. So it looks like he's going to be a little bit of mix of both for now, which he's the sole one on the front line in terms of comms. We do have his teammate of E a little bit further back, but now that Team 2 is being pushed out of this upper mountain, essentially, territory, Team 2 definitely needs to make a push for either the west or the east. I feel like the east might be the better play, considering there is far more positive momentum in this direction, but now we're seeing units come in from the east, from the west into the east, against Team 2 supply lines. These are Team 1 Mantis, so they're not going to get a ton of work done. But it is going to force Team 2's Kiri to focus a little bit more on this, distracting from the front line that he is trying to push. Gun, speed, and range going down here from Microshift, and the combo of Immortal is pushing forward a little bit. Going to get some Utashalas to stave off this incoming T1 threat. T2 on the way now, once again for Peacekeeper. He lost a lot of mass and energy for that upgrade. Now he has to redo it. And Team 1 has T2 on the way here for Trash Can Man. Very interesting. He would be calling himself Trash Can Man. I feel like I'm talking about one of those, those iMacs that look like, are they iMacs? They were like the desktop Macs that look like a trash can. Came out, how long did they come out? It was a while ago. They came out, look like trash cans. That's what that reminds me of. And we have, of course, those Uthashalas now being established in the comm as well. Does look like Kiri's going to move eastward. He has a rank of veterancy on that. It's actually pretty close to a second one as well. But a lot of T1 artillery in the form of these Lobos will force that PD to go down. They're obviously known for their bonuses to structural damage, but, they can't really fight a lot of moving units because they move and structures don't. So it's kind of difficult to land those shots. It does look like Immortal D might be able to get out of range. It's going to be close. Kiri is, I think, barely in range. Yeah, just barely inside that range. He kind of sees him for a second and then loses him, and then sees him for a second. Shot goes wild. Looks like he misses that, and he's over here now. And he's going to keep pushing Immortal D back. How's the air situation going on between both teams? Well, Team 1 is at T3 Tech at 10 minutes, probably even a little bit before that. We have T2 land and air on the way here for, let's see, who is that? That is Team 1. That is Trash Can Man. I don't think he's going T3 as of yet, and I don't see any plays to go T3. Oh, we do see another player on Team 1, Toast of Fire, going for T3. And now Kiri is being pushed back by the assistance from Microshift. He fell back to assist Immortal D on this eastern side of the east side. The east of east would be just more east. And now we see Team 1 has completely conquered the mountain here in the middle of the map. Have at thee, says Farron. This is probably the game that I should have said I have the high ground with in that thumbnail. But we are seeing some momentum here now in the west. So as the east kind of putters out a little bit, the west making a lot of progress here. We have Drunk Warden pushing with Gun and T2 against Zimmy here. And we do have assistance coming out from E to push against Zimmy, forcing him back. T2 servers don't do a whole lot, of course. They're just more tickled than anything else. And, of course, those she's just very annoying to deal with. Now we have Drunk Warden already at T1. Sorry, not T1, but 1 veterans here. Lots of T's, lots of numbers. Sometimes my brain just kind of gets fried for a second. He's getting up. He's getting pretty close. He will get veterancy rank 2 or 2-star, or however you want to denote the advancement in veterancy. There he is, another 10% amount of hit points and regen, a little extra, especially with Seraphim. That makes a huge difference being 5-star veterancy commander. And Zimmy is down into the yellow sub at 6,000 hit points, and he's being chased by E and going to soon be chased by Drunk Warden. And Zimmy is still in range, but E isn't moving to catch up with him. There are T2 units inbound, a couple of rhinos, a couple of bangers as well to assist with any nonsense in the air from Team 1. But it does look like Zimmy will make it into the water safe for now. He's not going to be able to push that much. He doesn't have a lot of infrastructure. Does have a couple of facilities. Actually has one facility back here. These facilities will be soon dealt with. Team 2 has caught a break. They are pushing on this western side, trying to knock out Toaster on fire on this upper plateau section. But you can see what I'm talking about. Those artillery and those missiles, barely making it up there. They have to go really high in their arcs to even, get a clear shot. Still, the high ground advantage does side with Team 1, at least in the middle. And of course, we are seeing some units come and assist out from Microshift. At least one Ilshi moving in over here. And of course, if we were to play bar, if this game was a bar match, these players up here would have a huge advantage because of that height advantage. But FAF doesn't really care about that. They're just like, oh yeah, it's just an X and Y plane, not an X, Y, and Z plane. So it's like, oh, you're in range? Oh, you can fire it. It's fine. You may not be able to hit because the terrain might be too tall, but you can still fire. You see that with a lot of line of sight PD like the Cerberus and the Utashalas, where they are just shooting at a hill and the unit is in range. They just can't hit it because there's something in the way. We do see a nice little fire base establishing here for Peacekeeper, trying to keep his position up on the east. It does look like his teammate of Kiri has fallen back, though, which it's a little early, I feel like. But he does have T3 air, and so does no one else on Team 2. So that's definitely going to complicate things as time goes on, while 2 players on Team 1 have achieved T3. Now, would not be surprised to see Trash Can go T3 at least probably around maybe the 20-minute mark, because he is focused on a lot of defenses on the western side, because Team 2 is pushing quite heavily into his territory and his teammates as well. We do see some tanks climb that hill, but then get forced back immediately by Team 1's defenses. There's an Ilshi as well as a couple of T1 PD. And unfortunately, the Ilshi cannot shoot at those T1, T2 units because the terrain is it's too steep for those guns to arc down. And then maybe that Ilshi will die 1,000 missile deaths. Here we see a couple of Vipers coming in for E to force back the calm of Farron and his assisting engineers from that front line. A lot of missiles surrounding this south and southwest sections of this mountain. I don't even know if this is, I guess you can call it a mountain plateau section, forcing him back to the north. Apologies for my sneeze. I had that, when you have that feeling where you're about to sneeze, but you're not sneezing and it's like hurting your nose almost. I had that for like 5 or 6 seconds. And I was like, I can't talk very well. But T2 Corsairs come in and start taking out some AA defenses here against E. There are still more bangers in this mix. We have more missile launchers, a lot of missile launchers coming out of Team 2's players here. And Team 1, all they have to do is just build TMD. Now, if they had some volcanoes, since they don't have Aeon, they don't have volcanoes, those would be the best options for defenses. But since they don't, I feel like Zappers would be good. And then I don't remember what the Seraphim variety is called. I'm assuming they're going to build some at some point. But Bill's kills aren't bad. They just aren't the best, in my opinion. I think they might be the worst. Let's see, Buzzkill. No, those are UBF. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a T2 TMD from the Seraphim. That's still... No, that's actually the same players. Looking for T2 TMD defenses. I don't see anything. Okay, well, at some point somebody will build it, and I will look at it. We do see Zimmy trying to hold off against this combined missile threat, and there's a lot of tanks in here, T1 and T2. A lot of T2 bangers as well, some AA. Of course, the Seraphim Shield's going to pose a huge threat to Team 1's front line in the west, and a further backline facility here of just some Cerberus and some Zappers. I feel like at this point, Zimmy needs to just build only zappers, not Cerberus, not waste his time with that because there's so much missile fire. And now Team 2 has started to reclaim the southern edge of that upper mountain plateau thingamajiggy. And that will prove a nice, valuable asset to them as the time goes on. It does look like in terms of map control, Team 2 is leading probably about 60% due to this kind of battle of the bulge going on here in the west. Unfortunately, this does allow for more reinforcements from Team 1 to come in, either from this eastern edge here or this northeastern edge to come straight in and try to either cut off reinforcements or just go straight for that army. And it does look like Trash Can Man trying to establish some frontline defenses of his own. But of course, he's facing the death of 1,000 missiles just being thrown at his position, going straight for that commander. His artillery isn't even online. He's building buzz kills. Those bell kills are not going to survive, and he's going to be forced back. Team 1, where is your air? Team 2, where is your air support? Because I know it's going to happen at some point. We saw some air built for Team 1. I think that was Toaster on Fire. Had a couple of Corsairs at the back here. I mean, T3 bombers would be great, starting to attack the backline infrastructure and mexes. You could go for comm assassinations. There's 2 comms very far forward on Team 2. And with the Ilshis leading the front charge and Rhinos behind them with a ton of missile support, this western edge is going to fall very quickly. Team 1 needs a response to this. And Farron will come in and assist with a bunch of T2 pillars and a couple of T1 strikers to fill in the void. And we have an attack coming out from Zimmy. And while this force in the west from Trash Can has retreated, the attack force is moving in southwardly. And 2 comms on the front line will definitely be able to dissuade a lot of this. But I feel like if I was on Team 1, sending all my units, I mean, going straight for a run-by might not be the best idea, but at least trying to draw the attention away from forward momentum, from forward direction going north for Team 2. Definitely a viable option, and we see that right now. A lot of these forces are just ignoring everything that's going on over here and deciding that, we're just going to go for it. We're just going straight in. Who cares? We'll get as far as we can. We won't get all the way to the southern edge, but at least something is better than nothing. And a lot of broken up formations and units down here in the south, and a lot of those reinforcements taking a long time to catch up because they're dealing with this push. And so it delays the amount of units on the front line, which means it does allow for more buildup in the north. And we can see another attack starting to materialize here for Farron. He has the T2 air facility. Maybe we'll see some gunships. The UEF gunships aren't great, at least the T2 variety. I would love to see Team 1's UEF player of either Trash Can or Farron go T3 and get those broadswords. That would definitely just force back Team 2, at least one, if not both of the players. Now we have Authams appearing here for Drunk Warden in the west, and that's very dangerous for any sort of run-by opportunities, because those Authams do not play. They sort of rip you to shreds. I mean, anything, again, 1,000 of anything will rip you to shreds, but still, Authams are very good. They're very, very good units, and they have torpedoes. So, can't complain about that, but it looks like the rest of that push has been dealt with. You can see all these forces were delayed, giving some build-up time, some defensive time here for Team 1. We have T3 Loyalists here from Zimmy. You need those bricks. I mean, the Loyalists are fine with the EMP weapons. They're fine. But you need the HP, you need the firepower, you need the everything that comes with bricks, especially when you're facing off against 2 comms that are going to just dig their heels in and defend. I mean, even with bricks appearing for Team 2, you need your own, or even Percy's coming in from the east from your UEF teammate. Just something to just force back these units. We see another attack coming in from Team 1's microship to reclaim or claim or claim again the middle section of the map. There wasn't really a lot of defenses to begin with, and these Ilshis easily just rip through this Team 1 PD. And there's really not a lot of defenses down here. A couple of T2 TMD. We see a couple of skyboxers, and now we see some triads being built. But even if those triads were in range, that is a huge hill to climb with that shot. I mean, maybe they can fire up there? I don't know. That would have to be something that I have to witness myself. I think the arc would be too high, but maybe not. I would assume, at least, because the cannon can only move so far, upward at an angle. We see Team 2 just kind of hanging out. They have the larger force in terms of units here in the south, and T3 as well, Titans. better than nothing, facing off against some Ilshis from T1. Let's see, we have some of those Zui here, Ilshis, we have missile launchers, and we have some, interceptors, which isn't great at this stage in the game at 21 minutes. Team 2 has 5 players left. Team 1 has 6 players left. Team 2 or 1 doesn't really have a huge air force. Looks like Team 2 is slightly ahead. That is coming from Kiri on 2 bases here. And again, in terms of mass per second, Team 1 is leading the game by more than 100 mass per second. So while Team 2 is more focused on expansion, at least on the West, they're more focused on it. Team 1 is more focused on upgrading their mechs and upgrading their ability to produce units faster and obviously more efficient and whatnot. And those missiles are starting to rain in. They took out a T2 mechs here. That's got to hurt. Trash cans, eco. But, he's trying to stave off any sort of direct incursions, and he's trying to deal with those missiles constantly launching. So let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win here at 22 minutes in this game. And again, if you haven't already done so, I would appreciate if you hit that sub. If you haven't done so already, hit the like button. Comment down below again who you think is going to currently win, and share this video with anyone and everyone, including and especially, of course, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, because Spider-Man also, likes to watch cat. At least FAF. At least I hope he does. We do see a couple of comms hanging out in the water here. Now, if I was a betting man and Team 1 had a nuke and I was on Team 1, I would take at least a good guess that somebody's hiding in this water, and having 3 comms sitting here, not the best idea. We do see, looks like Peacekeeper's just going to just circle, which is better than just standing still. Boy, it won't really matter if the nuke comes in very quickly and kills you off. So probably shouldn't put 3 comms in one basket. Probably not the best idea here. We do see a Monkey Lord online for Team 1's Toaster, and he should, there's arguments to be said about throwing it on the front line over here. There's a decent amount of brick support here. There's a decent amount of rhinos to chew through. Probably not the best thing to throw at right now, but if you have some T2 Ilshi support, T2 Pillar support, I would like to see some Titans coming off of Farron as well. But it does look like this land army is creeping a little bit too close, and that laser from that Monkey Lord is not going to feel good. That Monkey Lord is slowly coming in. The long-range cannons have opened fire and are now going after, I guess, weaker units in terms of these Medusa, taking out those mobile artillery. A couple of bricks emerge from the water to the northwest for Zimmy. And the Loyalists come in and attack from the northwest, while the Monkey Lord attacks from the northeast. We have some Autumns moving in to intercept those Loyalists. They're being jammed up by the EMP weapons, of course. And now we have a ton of fighting here in the western section of the map. Team 1, if they hold this position, they gain this position and hold it, that is a ton of mass to scoop up. We even have Drunk Warden falling back. He has nano and gun. So again, 46,000 hit points. 248 hit points a second regen. Super, super, super chunky comm. He's not even done repping up the 2 tier 5 or efficiency 5 or star 5-star, whatever you want to call it. 5 something. And in the east there is a counterattack, at least occurring on this eastern side, while the attack in the west is occurring. The Team 1 is going to lose this position by and large. There isn't any sort of experimental to fight this. There's really no air support here from Team 2 as well, so this attack is just going to keep pushing more and more southward until it reaches somebody. And we have some broadswords on station to help deal with this Monkey Lord, but he's still in the yellow. He's dropping decently quick. There are more bricks opening fire nearby as well, but he is going to chase that comm of Junk Warden and kill him or die trying. And Overcharge kicks a lot of hit points off of that comm, and that comm, that experimental, and the comm overcharges it and kills it, gets another rank in veterancy at 7,000 mass killed, and he'll now be at 49,700 hit points. If it wasn't for those 2 overcharges, I think the comm, it would have been close. I think the comm would have been fine still, but it would have been very close. And the attack keeps going southward. Unfortunately, now with the death of that Monkey Lord, it's really not going to go anywhere, and he'll just immediately stand in front of it, get another mechs online, and then start scooping up that mass. And now this has emboldened Team 1's forces to keep pushing southward. They've knocked out their opponent, at least for a little bit. They'll have to regroup and figure out another strategy for pushing forward. With the amount of mass that Team 1 has now claimed, jumped on them, they're now at 1,000 mass. Team 1 dropping below. That might be power related, I feel like. Oh, yeah, some of that is definitely power related for Model D. Fairman's barely holding on there. Zimmy's barely holding on there. Yeah. Looks like that might be power related at least a little bit. The forces out from Zimmy have been taken up, and he has his own Monkey Lord. Bricks chewing through Team 1 forces. T2 forces need to jump in there and help shield those T1 forces. We have a couple of missile launchers going straight after that commander, and a group of Team 1 engineers being dropped out to scoop up that mass. I don't know if they're trying to kill the comm directly or just take out the mass. That is, the carcass of that Monkey Lord, but a lot of missile batteries, not really doing a whole lot, of course. It's a good strategy if the comm wasn't moving, but you need a lot more than just 2 to fire at the same time to really make a dent, especially against the Seraphim comm that's at 49,000 hit points. Regenning at 254, you really just got to fire a ton of artillery and missiles into that thing to kill it. More broadswords coming off the line here in the east. Team 2 has a nice gunship force here. Team 1 has T2 Volthus, which is better than nothing, but they need more than that. Of course, now we have 3 players with T3 Air online. We have Trash Can Man still hasn't made that upgrade, as well as Farron. I'm looking for those broadswords here, Team 1. You need that fire support from the skies, and so far you do have a Monkey Lord, which is good, and you are constantly pressing the western side. Team 2 can't catch a break. They can't establish a front line. They can't establish PD or shields or any sort of that kind of defenses. They're kind of just stuck, but now Team 2 has claimed the middle, is now pushing through the middle to the main bases that Team 1's Toaster, On Fire, and Farron are next to. So a Monkey Lord, a Fat Boy, a Chicken, something to help defend, and T3 Ravager creep is starting to occur here on this eastern side for Peacekeeper. Trying to force back again Team 1 into this corner, but Team 1 could easily just build a nuke and call it a day. I don't see any sort of effort to go for any SMD. SMD would be very good. Honestly, probably like right here would be, because it's kind of nestled in the plateau area. And no one has any plans, at least as of right now, to build SMD. It would be the time to do it. You know, rush a nuke, go for it, kill somebody off, and then move on. And Crab is online. We'll force the units back. Looks like most of them were killed off, actually. And that Crab, get that on top of that plateau and start raining fire down from the heavens. Again, still more creep here in the east, and there is Ilshi's slowly moving in. Of course, the UEF shield with 17,000 shield capacity definitely will shield those Ravagers for now. And the Ilshis, if they're not moving, will just be ripped through. And so it's got to be very careful when you start getting your opponent to, PD creep on you. You got to either fight back very quickly or retreat immediately. Either or, you can't just let them sit there and build up. So definitely need to fix that sooner rather than later. Gun Splash going on the way for Drunken Warden, who lose a couple thousand hit points, but wants to be a little bit more aggressive with that commander. I don't think he has advanced nano yet. Well, no, maybe he does. He has that many hit points. He has to have. I think he certainly has advanced nano. Let me see. Yeah, he does. Okay, it's just a little bit hard to tell when you zoom out that far. The circle is more filled in. I guess that's the way they easily tell. But we have T3 forces in the form of Titans leading the charge here. Would love to see some Percy's here, of course, from the UEF player. But, something's better than nothing. A bunch of gunships here. There are a couple of Cougars in the mix, and those Cougars get immediately targeted by those broadswords because they don't want to be shot at, and I don't blame them. The Monkey Lord's still pushing forward. It does look like the comm has fallen back a decent ways to protect himself from any sort of aggressive plays. Team 1 hasn't really shown their air yet, and the gunship's just going to wreck that Monkey Lord very, very quickly. There's not a lot of AA. There are some bouncers in the mist, but there aren't that many of them, and they just rip through it, and the death of that Monkey Lord will kill off the rest of these Loyalists. We had some Corsairs come in for just good measure, just in case. And another experimental in the east, the Crab severely hurting with all these broadsword fire. Team 1 needs to deal with this, so the longer this goes on, the longer it's going to be it's going to be harder to deal with this, and of course, the less experimentals they have. Team 2 hasn't even gone experimentals really in this game so far. Only Team 1 has. They've inherited a lot of the mass that Team 1 has dumped on their doorstep. But those look like most of those broadswords have retreated or died off. Looks like most of them have died off. Team 2 has gained air control, at least for the time being. Not, oh, I guess there's more gunships in the west, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, stop telling me that there's stuff on my screen. Stop it. 30 minutes in this game. Again, don't see any sort of effort to go experimentals, at least as of right now, for Team 2, which is very strange because you would think somebody would build an experimental at some point, but they're just kind of happy. Are they ecoing more? Yeah, I think they're ecoing a little bit more. 1.3k versus 1.1k here for Team 2 versus Team 1. And again, Percy's need to be thrown at this front line. The bricks are just ripping through these Titans. The Titans don't have the range to fight the bricks. And the bricks being used in the west to push back these Authams. So Team 1's Fern really needs those Percys. I know the Titans are cheaper. I understand that. But you need that firepower coming off those Percys. And again, more and more broadswords. At this point, you got to change up your strategy and go just a lot of AA. You can see the change here coming out from Zimmy. And it's produced a decent amount of bouncers. The gunships, you can tell, really want to engage, but they kind of stay on the outskirts. A lot of bricks will soak up a lot of firepower. That's another benefit of building, bricks / Percys instead of Titans. The Percys have a lot more HP, so it takes a while to chew through. And the bricks will still keep pushing forward, and we have Drunk Warden pushing forward with his gun comm. Again, he has gun, he has the splash damage, and he has advanced nano. 50,000 hit points on that commander. The comm is pinged, but a couple of bricks are not going to chew through 50,000 hit points. He's finished the first experimental for his team, and it is a chicken. That's going to directly just throw Team 1 back. Looks like there's another air fight here between both teams. It does look like Team 1 will win. No, it's going to be pretty close with how many ASFs are left between both teams. But those gunships are forced to retreat due to the amount of AA coming off of Zimmy. And we even see amount of forces coming out from Team 1's Trash Can Man. He has more Titans and some Percys in the mix. So look at that. Percys for Team 1. How, not like I've been saying that for 10 minutes or anything. Those Titans look like they are going to engage Drunk Warden. They're going to push in, and the Titans coming in from the other player, the other UEF player on Team 1's Trash Can Man will definitely assist in this regard, but the chicken is coming into range. And that comm is going to retreat very quickly. 22,000 mass killed for that commander alone. But the amount of T2 PD lining the little ridge line here, as well as the chicken standing up on top of it, definitely will protect Drunk Warden in his efforts to retreat off of that front line. We see the crab who's very weakened. Not even 10,000 hit points left on its whole chassis armor, whatever the heck you want to call it. The Ravager base has been forced back. Missile launches, T3 spearheads will definitely chew through the hit points on that crab, but it does look like the Percys want a piece of that action as well. 4 missiles launched at the same time, or relatively at the same time, and it will force back Megalith. He does get a rank in veterancy though, so 17,000 hit points now instead of 8. Definitely a huge chunk of change, worth it. Now we see some Percys coming out of Farron, but I think it's a little too late on that regard. The amount of Percys left on the front lines here for Team 1 combined with some bouncer support, definitely not going to be able to throw this chicken back. The Fat Boy will do a decent amount of job with that, but the chicken does move pretty quickly in terms of the Fat Boy fire, so as long as the chicken doesn't stay still, he should be fine for now. Which I say that, and the chicken is still staying still, and he's dropping into the yellow. Actually, pretty far into the yellow, to be fair, and it has to do with all that Fat Boy fire. Does have a rank in veterancy, and it does look like the Fat Boy is being shot at by some Corsairs. There's a lot of AA, so those Corsairs only get 1 run in, which is better than none, but still. Team 1 does have a nuke launcher, as I mentioned earlier they should be building. It was built by Immortal D, and he's loading it pretty, not super quickly, but decently quickly. And a bunch of chickens are going to start being the main course here for him as well. Team 2, have you built an SMD? Yes. No. So nothing in the east or the middle, but there is one in the west. An SMD could be a nice piece of real estate, could be in a nice piece of real estate here up on this upper plateau. It doesn't look like that is going to happen anytime soon. The chicken has actually come into range of the Fat Boy. The Fat Boy pushed a little too far forward as the chicken was closing in, and that chicken kept going. It's very weird because it should have just retreated. but I don't know why. That's just mass donating to Team 1 at that point. A lot of mass donated between both teams, but I think Team 1 donated a little bit more mass. We can see that start to show a little bit more in the mass per second game, 1.3 versus 1.4 for Team 1 and Team 2 respectively. And with that nuke coming online, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, if Team 1, they know that there's units in the water. They're assuming that's probably at least one comm. And, I mean, if you were to nuke something, you didn't know a whole lot. You don't know there's an SMD over here. You need more scouting, Team 1. You need more scouting. Team 2, they have more scouting. They know about the nuke problems. I love that. Just problem. Don't know what it is. Don't know why it's a problem. Don't know how to deal with it. Just, it's a problem. Great. And the crab, to its credit, oh, its brother died. That's why I was like, to its credit, it's reaching all that health. But no, it's just the dead crab next door to it definitely shows that it was not reaching all that health. It just died. But a lot of ASFs coming out of Team 1. Multiple players. We have Shift and Immortal D and Toaster Fire all building ASFs. Definitely will increase the ability for Team 1 to fight this horde of gunships that's being built for a while now. And another Fat Boy still not another, but the same Fat Boy still pushing forward. Should stay out of weapons range for the everything that Team 2 has. There is a brick coming in to try to take out that Fat Boy, but one brick isn't going to be enough. Fat Boy had 2 veterancy, got that very early, not very early, but very recently. The secondary fire, not even going after the brick, going after the engineers here. Bricks coming in for Team 1. This brick and this Fat Boy has to retreat. It's very weakened, and definitely not something you should just throw at the front lines. Should be behind the front line, at least a couple of lines, if not all the lines, to help retreat and keep a nice forward movement. Kind of like this. The Fat Boy is technically on the front line, but it's behind shielding. There's that's a lot of team. That's too many. That's too much TMD for what's going on here in the north. I don't know if they were expecting a bunch of missile barrages or something. That is a lot. And it doesn't help that the Fat Boy's in front of it, because the missiles would be coming at it. And yes, the TMD should be in front of the Fat Boy, not behind it. But anyway, just food for thought here. We do have T2 artillery and the nuke not going after the pond like I thought it would. Not going after any of the infrastructure. Going after the front line, which the Fat Boy is not moving. And this nuke will land because there is no SMD. There's another Fat Boy being built. There is a couple of T3 facilities. 2 of them, actually 3 of them are HQs. But you don't need all of them to be HQs. But anyway, that nuke will land. Take out everything here. Kaboom. That Percy's like, where'd everybody go? They all disappeared. That eastern up front has definitely opened up here for Team 1. They do have an issue here up north. There's a bunch of T2 attack missile launchers. Very poised to take out a decent amount in the back. There is SMD. There's no SMD over here, very surprisingly, because the nuke's over there. But SMD. No, that is a radar. So SMD, no SMD in the east, which is, again, coincidental, because... Not coincidental, but irony, because the nuke launcher is there. Team 2 hasn't really done anything about it. There's one SMD now, another one, and another one. So they cover most of Team 2's main bases. And now we have some combat preset commanders showing, just trying to charge this crab that's severely wounded, but is better than nothing. Maybe, no, that's definitely this crab. And that crab has suffered a lot. It's in the red and has 1 veterancy. There's another attack coming out from Team 2, and that Fat Boy, again, like I mentioned earlier, should not be on the front lines, shouldn't be anywhere near the front lines, and should just sit behind the units moving in. Should not move in as a group, should be microed individually. The chicken does die off in the middle of this T3 push, though, coming out here from Team 1. And there's a bunch of Percys, and those Percys are going to get lit up by that ion storm. It's going to take a while to chew through the hit points, but still, it's going to hurt. And the horde, what is this? We have T4 and T3 gunships just eviscerating that crab. That crab did not stand a chance as a chicken in the east. We have bugs. Swarm the chicken. Swarm the chicken. That chicken just got annihilated by those bugs and gunships. Don't land the gunships there. Very bad. Very, very, very bad. Don't want any nukes landing there. And now the gunship's just going to go straight in. Team 1 knew about the gunship threat for a while now. Didn't know about the Soul Rippers, though. But they knew that Team 2 did have gunships. And are they just going to go straight for the nuke? Which, I mean, if they were strat bombers, I would say that's a better call. But, yeah, it's not really the best idea, considering there's some AA nearby. Again, if they were strat bombers, that was definitely the call. If those are gunships, not so much. There's a second nuke, and it's now loading. Team 1's Immortal D just says, I'm just going to nuke. Just going to hand on my little plateau base and just nuke everybody. You could just build a YOLO at that point, but, you know, that would cost a lot of mass, and you usually could build a bunch of nuke missiles anyways. Anyway, we have a we have a bigger brother Monkey Lord, a megalith, being attacked by some artillery up on this hill. And as I said earlier, artillery, very useful when they're on hills. They can shoot very, very easily. Kind of hard to hit stuff right here, but they can shoot farther, not necessarily, you know, better. And in the west, just more units coming out here from these three players. Again, Team 1's really the only player about ending the game at this stage is just dual nuke Immortal D. And that nuke is going to finish off. First nuke killed 126,000 mass. I don't think he launched the second nuke. SMD is loaded. SMD is not loaded. And SMD is loaded once. It just barely got loaded. So the middle is definitely the weaker point. There is a point of attack that you could take out a decent chunk of Kiwis and one big Andy's bases. Where's the nuke landing? Landing right. Nope, that's not it. Okay, I don't agree with this. There's not a lot here to really warrant the nuke. There's a couple of T3 mexes. There's an artillery battery right here. There's just not a lot. Gunships over here. I mean, there's not really anything worth it here. It's going to land right here. Maybe it'll get an ASF or two. But I don't think it's worth it. Takes out everything. Doesn't even take out the T3 mechs over there. So definitely not worth the mass. And we can see 126,000, 161. No, it was not. That's not worth the cost in mass to go off at that point. Especially because this SMD, where is it? Where that SMD I mentioned earlier? It's around here somewhere. Oh no! Well, it was. I don't know where it went. Anyway, there's one over here, and it was not loaded. It looks like there's a second one loaded in the east, or being loaded in the east. Yeah, it's could have taken out air bases. Okay, you don't need multiple T3 air H quarters. You just don't. They're nice to have for backups. Like one somewhere else is nice to have. 3 right next to each other, not so much. I get the whole they produce faster, all of that, but you just don't need them. You really don't. Having 1 is fine. Having 1 is mandatory. Having 2 is fine. Anything more than that is not really great. It's just not worth it. You could just build T3 facilities and just be done with it. We have T2 bangers back here. A lot of gunships. They're ripping through this megalith. Definitely an interesting game here. Not a lot of experimentals. Very interesting strategy here for Kiri. Just going for essentially all gunships. Does have his ASF force, of course, but gunships in terms of broadswords and soul rippers. Which, soul rippers aren't bad. They are not a bad air experimental. They're just not the best. And I would have gone for Awasha. I would have gone for something else. There is 2 satellites online in the southeast, and now a Mavor right next door. The SMD is loading. And the nuke is going for something. I don't know what the nuke is going for. And it's not going for what it probably should go after down here. I don't know. That SMD would not have enough coverage. No, I definitely would not have enough coverage. The nuke is inbound and tacks up here for this artillery base. Don't agree with this. Should be going after infrastructure. Oh, there's the SMD. It was hiding from me. Well, maybe it was just because it was just built. Oh, this one was taken. Oh, that's what it was. This one was taken out. It was there. That's what it was. But having dual nukes And now spam loading your own nuke would indicate that you've spotted a nuke launcher here on the other side of the map, which I don't see the nuke symbol, so no. No, I don't see much of anything. We have 4 satellites online. 1, 2, 3, 4 satellites online for Team 2. And where is the other 2? Because they're under Orange's control. Oh, no, they're on Team 1. Oh, it is orange, just the wrong orange. And they're going after, should go after Pigeons and mass extractors. Those are the 2 things. Yep, they're going after Pigeon immediately. Great. Take out the eco for Team 2's air player. Reduce the ability for him to fight in the air. Did we have an incursion with some bugs? No. Where's the 3rd bug? Did it die off? Possibly, but I don't know where. That is a fat boy. That is not a bug. Maybe he only attacked with 2 of them. There are more AA forces coming out of Team 1, at least from Zimmy's forces. We don't see a lot of that. Obviously, T2 and T3 AA from the UEA player Farron. But Team 2 needs to fight back in terms of land, and they are doing so with a horde of engineers, T3 bricks, and a couple of their own AA units, and a Monkey Lord. Crab would probably be better in this instance because of the longer range. And those bricks are eviscerating those Authams. Combined push with some Percy's as well. Definitely the mix you want to have. Percy's have the high alpha damage, while the bricks have consistent fire, just ripping through anything and everything in their way. Of course, there's another fat boy back in this old position that his dearly departed older sibling was at when it got nuked. Definitely not what you want to hear from the battlefield, that your brother or sister got nuked. Definitely would not feel good to find out about. We have a couple of satellites just kind of running around. One has veterancy on it. I mean, maybe I realized that defense satellites can have veterancy, but I just probably didn't just think about it. It does look like the 3 solar pers are still online. This one's severely wounded. These 2 in the yellow. Team 2's air player does not want to throw them hastily. And now the Monkey Lord going to run into a brick wall and see the mighty power of a brick wall. That experimental fallen very, very quickly. Stop telling me the radar. I don't want to know about the T3 radar. The Omni sensor, don't want to know about it. The monkey does get out of range. Just barely sub almost 8,000 hit points. There's a fat point in the middle for Team 2. Again, on the plateau. And now where is the nuke going? It's coming out of Team 1. Where is it? Do not tell me it's going over here. This is not worth it over here right now. Go after infrastructure, and it's going for this. May not get it. Okay, 2 fat boys almost being online. That's not terrible. But an SMD does come in and knock it out of the sky. Anyway, I would like to see how many... Oh, nope. No. Let's do you. There we go. Just to grab onto something so it stops telling me. SMD is not loaded, so the next loop can instantly go there. And is there another nuke loaded? No, that one just loaded. This one not really being primaried as much. Looks like there may have been some reclaim orders accidentally. More shields going to start lining. Yeah, it looks like there was a strap bomber or something attack that went after it. There's also a satellite as well, so that's probably what it is. The satellites for Team 2 should be going after the satellites for Team 1, or should be going after the satellites for Team 2 over here in the east, but there are 2 shields. The Mavor is in the yellow, so over 25% completed. Still, on this map, 10 by 10, a Mavor is nice. You know, it's a very powerful gun, but T3 already would definitely get the job done, especially 2 or 3 of them, just due to the fact that, we're talking about, Kiri will pull up the E3 artillery. Let's see, where to go? There it is. So 72,000 mass versus 220. So you could build 3 artillery for the price of 1. So Mavor versus 3 T3 arties, and you could build some pigeons and accelerate the speed at which they fire as well. On top of that, and you would have artillery fire being built while you're building the Mavor. So when this thing reaches about a third done, you'd have 1 artillery already online. So Team 1 doesn't have a ton of shield protection. They have some, but they don't have just a huge shield base. You could pump through that, especially when you have satellites constantly just annoying Team 1 as well. So, I mean, the Mavor is... I love to see him, of course. But don't think that's the right call in this instance. Let me know down in the comments if you think it's the right call. I don't think it is, especially because this map is very small. It's not really needed for the range. You could have artillery essentially almost firing by now. It's just not. It's not a bad play. I just don't think it's the best play that could be done. More chickens being produced for Drunk Warden. And an attack in the east. The Fat Boy dying once again to Team 1's pressure here. Microchip taking out a ton of engineers with that one blast. Of course, Drunk Warden built another chicken. And we have some satellites coming in. I think they're going to just take out that SMD directly. SMDs, of course, always must have shields. I don't think I can say that enough. Always must have at least one shield at a minimum because that right there was hard to watch. We even have artillery outbound here from down by. Oh, no. Okay. No. Immortal D is helping to build a YOLO because why not? Okay. You know, remember that earlier statement I made about he might as well just build a YOLO and be done with it? I think he heard it through the ether and is building it as we speak. And that thing is already past the 50% mark. It looks like a Rascom died. Monkey Lord actually not dead, very surprisingly, at 3-star veterancy. And I love this, though. Fat Boy on the hill launching that artillery. Very hard to shoot at that Fat Boy, but Fat Boy definitely in range. You can take a look just for a second. The range on this thing, you can fire everything in the yellow. It's actually a decent chunk of the map, to be fair. And that chicken constantly pushing forward. There's a bunch of engineering stations that could be easily taken out. There is a shield that's going to, well, didn't go down, but almost went down. And, of course, the ASFs are going after the bugs here in the east, but they're easily taken out by the Air Force. But all these engineering stations are not going to survive. Team 3 land facility will be taken out. The fences will be taken out. I feel like those engineering stations, some of them will survive. There's even T3 mechs in the mist that probably won't survive. Nope, there it goes, and the dying off of those drones definitely is going to hurt. That's why you probably should put them back here. But those look like the satellites are focusing on the Mavor construction, and all of the little drones here for Team 2's Curry are focusing on the shield protection, the shield capacity, filling that back up. There is artillery landing here for Team 1. It's coming off of... Where is it? Is it just blind to me? Oh, no, it's right here. That's why. It's coming after this disruptor from Team 1's Toaster on fire. See, and that thing is now firing. The this is not, and the shields are still online, but just barely. The main shield over here to the west is the one being microed by Team 2, at least being assisted at the most. And there is 2 chickens that are going to get under the... No, one of them does not get underneath the water. Their main goal is to go through the water. And, of course, there is a crab trying to intercept him as we speak. Ion Storm will engage. The chicken will pop into the water as well. Team 1 has a lot of issues here on this western side. We were doing pretty great, and it just fell. And the eastern side was doing great for Team 2. And that... I mean, there's no pressure, but it's all gone. So I'd rather have no pressure and everything be gone than there be pressure and there be stuff there. And the first chicken dies off. A lot of T3 bricks. They're going after the Rascoms, it looks like, but can't really get a nice shot on them. The chicken will die off. That's 3 chickens very close to Team 1's front line, or actually in their front yard, to be fair. Gunship not really going to do a whole lot by itself. YOLO is almost done. Once this finishes, I feel like that's game for Team 1. The Mavor, definitely could have been funneled into something else. At least one artillery would already be online, and one would be about a third of the way done, if not half. Just definitely not the play. Team 2 should have collaborated on that, like what Team 1 is doing between Immortal D and Microshift. They're assisting with all of their mass. In terms of mass per second, Team 1 at 1.6, Team 2 at 1.4, so Team 1 got back ahead in that mass per second game, and does look like the shields fall offline just for a second while the support engineers do come and assist with all of that. Those look like all these are paused. The shields do pop back online. How is Immortal D's power? It's perfectly fine. He has a lot of power to spare, actually. And Team 2, even though they have the high ground, even though they have a ton of territory in the west, and they're constantly pushing it. They've dropped a ton of mass on the west for Team 1 to use, and I feel like it's not really going their way. It does look like the shields are staying online, and one of the satellites unfortunately did fall. So it's just going to be the beginning of the end. The YOLO will start coming in and start ripping through everything. Purple on a purple map, and it's just going to rain hellfire from the heavens, or at least from the ground to the heavens and then back down. And if you haven't seen that video with a satellite taking out some YOLO missiles, nuclear missiles, definitely check that video out. It is the new type of SMD. I feel like it was like a well-kept secret that I just let out into the world by accident. But for those who have been using it without the public knowledge, sorry. But one big Andy is going to get caught up in that explosion. He is D. I think currently is going to die as well in this engagement. It might be a double kill. Let's see, will it reach the shockwave? Reach him. That's one kill here for Immortal D. And no, he's barely alive. So that is a drop here. Team 2 loses their second player at 54 minutes in this game. It's now a 6v4 in favor of Team 1. And with the assistance of these satellites and the artillery, the shields around this maypole that's being constructed is being depleted very quickly. The second nuclear missile is on its way to this position, still trying to get rid of that stupid UI glitch. There we go. It does annoy me, to be fair. It really, really does annoy me. Oh. Nah, no. Oh, nah. I don't know. I don't think it has enough. How's it? Oh, he still has a lot of mass and energy, so it should low. Oh, no, it's going to be close. First one fires. Oh, just 98, 97%. That thing is going to just decimate everything. There it goes. It is gone. Everything is gone. The maypole is gone. Oh, the T3 air facility is fine, though, so that's something. Oh, nope, never mind. I spoke too soon. It's gone. And with that, the entire southeastern corner is gone. Where's the nuke? Team 2 is just being picked apart, going just from the east to the west. There are a couple of SMD loaded. This one is not. This one will finish. It will be able to dissuade that next incoming YOLO missile. This one has 2 loaded, so it'll be able to do at least 1. And Team 2 didn't really prep for it. Is it gonna? Oh, I was very surprised that it almost made it to land, and then that artillery comes in and goes, I want to take out the SMD now. And with that, a lot of the momentum, again, just comes and crashes here for Team 2. All of the units here for Team 1 are pushing south with the Soul Rippers still online and ripping through anything and everything here. And game's feeling a little buggy. You know, trying to do a dad joke there. And I don't know if it landed or not, but it's ripping through these Perseus. The Perseus just do not care. They can continue moving forward, running around the map. Lots of gunships, and not a lot. I mean, there were some experimentals, but not a ton. And even though there were, you know, a decent amount, I don't know. I felt like this game was. Some games feel pretty normal, and some games don't. And I feel like one of these games were definitely different. And there goes everything down south. I mean, again, the calm of Kerry just control K's. He's like, I'm done. It landed. I'm out of this. And now it's a 6v3 in favor of Team 1. Maybe Team 1, this will be a flawless victory here for them. Haven't had one of those in a very long time. Because usually one person on the other team dies. Or the winning team dies, at least. And just control. I thought it was... Oh, maybe it is a partial share. I thought it was a full share, but maybe not. And that will kill off all of the bugs, all of the ASF. And I feel like at this point, I can just speed it up here. And it's going to come in. The SMD will take out the nuclear missile. It is gone, but the calm of Drunk Warden, if he doesn't move, will be killed off with the next landing of that SMD. One SMD missile is loaded. And that second nuke is going to land, and it's going to hurt. Again, a large assistance. Just goes to show you that with some teamwork makes the dream work. See if I can get the other comm in this mix. There we go. Oh, there was an awash in there. That was funny. Didn't even notice. Just landed nearby, because why not? That is hilarious. I just didn't notice it was on the map. Awasas. Yeah, I said it wrong, but I think it's fine. Teamwork makes the dream work. Oh, man. Just crash lands. The crash land damage doesn't really do anything anymore. Unless you're the Tsar. The Tsar still works. It's great. It hurts. It hurts a lot. So don't be surprised when it lands on top of you and you die. Because it impacts with 1,000 suns. The impact feels like the impact of 1,000 suns. There goes the southwestern corner here. Drunk Warden is essentially out of this game. He does not care about his own life and being lasered by 4 satellites. Gets killed off by Fearin and is now a 6v2 in favor of Team 1. More YOLO missiles are inbound all over the place, and I think I can step it up to a 3 speed instead of a 2. The nuke comes inbound, takes out everything over here. There's really nothing to defend against this. Teleporter is on the way. E is trying to teleport away, but he took a lot of AoE damage. They're going to try to teleport Peacekeeper control case. It's now just E left standing, and the shields around that comm are depleting very quickly. He wants to teleport away. Secondary shield comes online. Will he get away is the question. He actually stops the teleport and restarts it. That was definitely unfortunate, but it doesn't matter. The YOLO comes in and kills him off anyways. He was inbound, I think, over here. And that is it. Every single person on Team 2 was defeated. Team 1 did not lose a single player, making this a flawless victory at 1 hour and 36 minutes in this game. 36 seconds, excuse me, in this game. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of the match. Hit the like button, hit the sub button, hit the comment section down below. Of course, hit the share button as well. Got to share it with everyone, including and especially your animals, because I love my animal. I love my dog. She's awesome. She's quirky. It's just fun to watch her when I come home from work and just hear her tail wagging. She's all excited and whatnot. But anyway, let's get on with the MUP and MVP awards. And this game is a little lower in terms of rating. It's more going to be focused on MUPs, the most underrated player of the game award, as it is inherently known on this channel. And with Team 1, we have a 900, 1,000, 1,100, actually not 2,000s and 2 1,100s. And we do also have a 1,500, but he's Joe rated, he's pro rated, so underrated. I feel like I focus a little bit on the lower side of things. Lower underrated could also mean that someone who's a 15 is playing like an 18, and they also deserves it. But in terms of, I don't know, it's kind of hard because Zimmy did a very good job holding off the air forces from Team 2 with his anti-air units, while his 2 UEF compatriots kind of were focused more on ground attacking, either in terms of Titans. Versus came eventually later, but he was on the ball when it came to just go for, he went for Loyalists a little bit first. Those got all killed off, and then went for straight for bricks. Went for a lot of those bouncer support. So I feel like he might deserve a MUP award. We have, of course, Immortal D in the northeast corner. Those look like one of his nukes did get taken out eventually. But he went for nukes. The nukes definitely could have been better. Most definitely could have been better, especially going after this position. Just throwing them at the more important structures. I mean, taking out this didn't really affect a whole lot of the game. I mean, it slowed down a couple of mass, like, you know, essentially not even 54, just 27 mass per second. Wasn't really worth it. Taking out this position definitely was worth it. 124,000 mass. Definitely a very good first nuke. I just feel like the subsequent ones weren't great. And so he did build a YOLO with some assistance from his teammate of Microshift. Loved the teamwork between these two, building that very quickly. And that essentially didn't win the game in of itself, but I'd say in terms of 100%, it probably contributed at least 55%. Definitely helped. And then, of course, all of the chickens that landed in the west that were killed off by Team 1, thrown into Experimental's 2 crabs and a bunch of other units here with the death of course, the air player, definitely helped push again and cement that victory. Even if for some reason the YOLO and these 2 players were taken out, I feel like Team 1 still would have won. So kind of hard. I feel like if I were to give it to one player, I may give it to Immortal D. There were areas he could definitely improve on, but I think overall he did pretty good. He defended his nukes decently well. I do think that gunship push definitely was not the best idea from Team 2, but that's, you know, we're not talking about Team 2, we're talking about Team 1. And he could have produced more ASF, but he did do enough to at least defend himself, so that's air player need to be a little bit more defensive with other teammates, but at least somebody in the West was definitely going with T3AA and holding off the Air Forces from Team 2. So it wasn't super needed, but it wasn't super bad either. So I think Immortal D gets it. He built the YOLO with some assistance, launched a bunch of nukes, and just finished it off. So I feel like Immortal D gets the MUP award, at least for this game. Let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. Hit the sub button, hit the like button again, and thank you so much for watching to the end of my little rant, my little conversation, and I will see all of you in the next one.